Welcome to, thank you. Welcome to Celebrate the Arts, brought to you by the Florida Artist Group, also known as FLAG. FLAG is proudly celebrating our 72nd annual exhibition and symposium. My name is Linda Chipperfield, and it's my pleasure to introduce session 8, Shipping Art, Getting It There and Back, with Chance and Mindy Colton. Anda is an accomplished artist who works with watercolor and colored pencils. She's received recognition in local, national, and international shows and received commissions for public projects, publications, and from art patrons. Currently, she sits on the National Board for the Colored Pencil Society of America. Anda likes solving problems, so her information on shipping should be very helpful. Mindy Colton is an award-winning sculptor who's worked on bronze, ceramic, mixed media, and found work in bronze, ceramic, mixed media, found objects, paper mache, and metals, lots of stuff. Her artwork has been in over 300 juried exhibits, solo and multi-person shows, sorry. Mindy sits on the board of the Florida Artist Group and is involved with other art organizations. Her shipping experience includes the shipment of sculptures in a variety of mediums and sizes, so she has developed a number of methods to get there and back safely. This presentation is being recorded for later publication and public access, so we request that you keep your microphone muted throughout the presentation. We encourage you to ask questions, but ask you to hold them until the Q&A session after the presentations. You can also add them to the chat, and the speakers will address those as well if we have time. And so as a courtesy, please keep your questions on topic so that we can go through them quickly. Now, please welcome Chance.
Hello, my name is Chance, and today Mindy and I are going to talk about some of the pitfalls and joys of shipping your artwork. So,
that did not work. Sorry about that.
it's all right.
Is that showing up as a black screen?
Yes,
Yes.
it is. And it says end of slide show instead of the beginning.
Oh,
So-
well, that's helpful, actually. Thank you, Nancy. That is what my problem is.
We apologize, everyone.
Sorry about that. We practiced before, and let's see.
Every time you
Okay.
click start from beginning, it goes to the end.
Yes, I'm just going to reopen it. I apologize. Sorry, Anda.
Oh, that's okay.
This is, you know.
It happens.
There we go.
Yay.
Terrific. Over to you, Anda.
Okay, thanks. Okay. If you've ever shipped your artwork and there was a snafu problem, you know what we're talking about. But Mindy Colton is an award-winning Florida artist, but she has a great experience in shipping sculptures. And I have worked as exhibition director for several exhibitions, both nationally and internationally. And I will tell you that there are certain things that you need to do to get your artwork there safely. Okay, next slide. All right. Shipping your artwork safely is up to you. This might seem obvious, but you need to assume that others who handle your art are not going to take the same care and concern that you do. And it means preparation and thinking ahead. And you are also the first of many people who will be handling your artwork along its journey. Thank you. Next slide. It begins with the box. Recommended packaging is a hard shelled box with foam inner core. There are several companies that you can purchase these boxes from. And the two are there, artfloatsystems.com and masterpack-usa.com are both very good companies to get a box from. These boxes are designed to protect your artwork and are worth the investment. They are expensive, but they can be used many times over and over again. In real estate, it's called location, location, location. In shipping art, it's called the box, the box, the box. So just think about it very carefully and go ahead and get a box that you can use several times. Recycled boxes are boxes that are not reinforced, will not protect your art. These are two boxes that someone shipped artwork to an exhibition that I was curating, and the artwork arrived damaged. Next slide. This box, the first one, the box was not reinforced, and you can see that it was bent in shipping. The second one, there was no padding around the frame. The frame was actually chipped and damaged. And in this third one, the artwork actually fell out of the frame. The little metal points did not hold it because there was nothing else preventing the artwork from banging around inside the box. Okay. Never use boxes that are old, worn, overly taped, or labeled from previous shipments. They will scan, the shipping companies scan the labels, and if you have other old labels on there that are not removed, they might get shipped to the wrong spot. And if you overly tape a box, there'll be problems getting it open. And styrofoam peanuts, never, never, never. Believe me, the shipping company will not be happy when they open that box, and they will not replace them shipping it back. Also, excessive bubble wrapping or excessive tape that needs to be cut away, that damages everything, and that they cut it away, they'll just throw it away, and you won't have it when you're shipping it back to you. And if you're used to that plastic wrap that's on a spool and you keep wrapping it around and around and around and around your art, that is unusable for the return shipping. And I've had shipping companies charge the artist to repackage when they've used that particular type of plastic wrap around their artwork. And please never use old fabric, cotton ball stuffing, or other creative ways to cushion your artwork. So, thank you. Next slide. The paperwork. This is a label for the outside of your box. You need to tape it securely to the front of the box. What I like to do is take clear tape and completely tape that label down so that it doesn't get nicked or pulled off during shipping. Your name and address is on the top, the name and address of the venue where it's going to, and the shipping company and tracking number is on this label. The return label should go inside the box. Check with your venue for complete return shipping instructions. They will tell you what to do. What I like to do is put the return label inside a clear envelope taped to the back of the artwork, but each venue has their own way of doing things, so check with them first. But if you want it shipped back to you, you need to go ahead and make sure it's inside the box somewhere. Thank you. Next slide. Fill out all the paperwork with blue or black ink and print legibly. And what I like to do is make a copy of all of this from my files, so I keep them. But it's definitely blue or black ink, no pencil, and print. Do not write in cursive except for your signature. Work with your shipping company. Don't wait till the last minute to get everything in order. And Shipping Express will not get it there faster, but they will charge you more. What I like to do is call the shipping company or check on their delivery time to the location where the artwork is going, and they can give you a really good estimate on which day you need to ship it out. Also, do not check on the shipping label signature required. That means that whoever is receiving the artwork will have to go to the shipping company and pick it up. Now, sometimes vendors will want you to do that, but most of the time they do not. So do not check signature required when shipping your label. and attach a label with your name, title of artwork, and name of the exhibition and venue on the outside of the box. I like to put that down in the bottom left-hand corner. Make it large, make it black, make it bold. That way, when the shipping company or the cartage company is retrieving the box from their storage location, they know that's your box for that particular artwork. Okay. Next slide. A few tips to remember. Do not seal up the box until you've included the return shipping label and required paperwork. Always insure your work. Do not use excessive tape on the outside of the box either. Label with first and last name all items in the box, including frame, corners, and any packaging that might be removed or lost. Again, when a shipping company is retrieving their artwork and putting it back in the box, if you've got your name on all those little pieces, they know it belongs to you. Make a checklist and check it twice. Thank you. Next slide. I have my own shipping account with FedEx, and I would suggest that you get your own. Set up your own shipping account with the major shipping companies. That way you can print up your labels from your own computer, and you don't have to go out to get them. You can arrange for pickup from your home or a local pickup and drop off location. And you have an account which has all your previous shipments so that you can go back and check. I find it really convenient to have this account. It does not cost you anything, and I can really look up how long it's going to take to ship something somewhere, how much, I can put the weight on it and everything, and I don't have to deal with somebody over a counter. So, just a suggestion, but I like them in an account. Shipping sculptures is a different story altogether. For over 20 years, Mindy's been creating and shipping sculptures. She has developed a number of methods to get them there safely. Next slide. And she suggests using a professional shipper if needed. So I'm going to turn this over to Mindy, and Mindy's going to share with you how she ships her beautiful sculptures.
I'm like, hi everybody. Unfortunately, there aren't any pre-made boxes for sculpture. And I've shipped everything from this size ceramic horse to this size horse. Now, in the last 5 or 6 years, if a buyer out of town wanted a horse this size, I use a professional shipper because it would take me days to build a box for something like these. And these are wood legs. And I found some really good shippers. I use Craters and Freighters, particularly for these big ones. And this is about a 4-foot horse. But I can build a nice box to send like a 20-inch horse like this. Some of the best boxes I found are at U-Haul. They have the strongest boxes. They also have boxes that are for
Garment.
they have garment boxes, they have dish boxes. And this is one, it's a double wall. And I would ship maybe up to a 2-foot horse in this. And how I start is I line the whole thing with foam. And there's going to be another box in here. They all get double boxed. And when I put the second box in here, I pack it as tight as I can. The key to shipping sculpture is no movement at all. Zero, no movement. Things I will do is I know where the company is that sells refrigerators. I find out what day they're getting the refrigerators delivered, and I'll get there in the morning and I can get basically dumpster dive these big foam corners, and I will build them into the corner of a lot of these boxes. I'll put them in there. One thing I found with shipping sculptures is that things will be dropped on top of them, other boxes will be put on. I've shipped to Seattle, I don't know, dozens of times. I have a regular show I do out there. I'm not sure where these came from. Anything I can find to secure the corners and keep any crushing from happening. Cool noodles are your friend. These are great and they're cheap, and you can put these in the corners of the boxes too. Again, I try to make the top solid. Now at U-Haul, in their wardrobe boxes, when you get a wardrobe box, they say, go over and get your box. This is what you hang your clothing on. And when I close up one of these boxes, I put 2 or 3 in here, so the box can't be crushed in any direction. I will line the heck out of that box. I will find foam. If I'm going around a neighborhood and somebody bought a computer, somebody got a big box of something, I will throw it in a car. Yes, you collect a lot of stuff, but this stuff is free. And if you go to buy this stuff, it's really expensive. Anything that's poly like this is really expensive. Another thing I use to wrap and fill, when Joanne has a sale on this stuff, this is for putting on top of your mattress. The thing about shipping sculptures, you want absolutely no movement at all. You don't want that thing to be able to move at all. So it can be expensive to fill the box. So I look for things that are inexpensive to fill. Another thing that's very helpful from good old Home Depot is big gap filler. This is big gap filler. What this does, this is insulation foam. When you spray it out, it blows up big. And what you can do with this is put it in a plastic bag, shoot the stuff in and press it down, and it fills really well. But make sure you put it in a bag and you'll see it. And you can practice with like a small, grocery bag to see how much they blow up and to work with that. They have all these methods. Now, where's my cheat sheet? Oh, there it is. Now, a good place to actually buy packing materials for your sculptures is this company called Uline. And I ripped off the top because it's like a 2-inch catalog. You can buy all of these foams. You can buy all those rippled materials, bubble wrap, all different sizes. They have sheets and sheets of thick foam, also insulation foam at Home Depot and Lowe's. I'll line a box with big sheets of insulation foam, usually silver on one side. Again, it stiffens the box. Now, a couple of little tips that I do when I build, and this box has probably come back once or twice. Yeah, there's some stuff on the outside. I always write my last name on every single side of the box. So when the people go looking for your box, they can find it really fast. I also put a picture of the sculpture on the inside of the box, so the person unpacking knows what they're dealing with. If there's any special directions, anything I've tied up, like the tails, I had somebody once show a horse with the tail wrapped up, and I said, why didn't you take the wrap off the tail? And they said, I didn't know, but I did write in there, I put up a list. So put a picture of your piece inside the box, include any special directions for unpacking. Because some people have very delicate sculptures, or somebody may just have a stone heart, something as simple. Put your name, address on the inside of the box also. And it also may be with your return label in an envelope. I also add special directions if I need them on the outside of the box, in a corner or on top for unwrapping my piece. I also, believe it or not, when I'm sending off big hunks of foam like this, I might write my last name on them because things get thrown around, especially when you're unpacking something like this. And no, I don't use noodles. I don't use peanuts at all. So write your name on every side. And also, when you're wrapping a sculpture, don't use clear tape. In fact, use as little as tape as possible. I've gotten work back from shows where they've used that real wide clear tape. Well, all your packing stuff, you just throw it away because you've got to cut and rip and it's crazy. I actually use masking tape to just tack a few pieces so that if they're unwrapping a large piece of bubble wrap, it'll be intact and it won't be destroyed. So I think that's about it. I basically go find as many materials as I can to get my work there. And I use FedEx. I have a FedEx account. And well, FedEx has big boxes, but I like U-Haul boxes better. My husband texts me. But you know, use a FedEx account also. I also learned a number of years ago that there's a size that you can hit with big boxes that becomes freight on board. There were times I ran a box home and sliced off 1 inch. So it would be under that freight on board. So I don't know what it is today. I haven't shipped one for, well, because of COVID, I haven't shipped one in a while, but you need to find out what the length, width, and height combination is for not getting into that freight on board, because then it becomes very expensive, very expensive. So anyway, those are my tips. But also when I put the second box in, I pack on top of that. So sculpture should be double boxed. Nothing should be able to be moved, and give your unpacker, who might be a volunteer at an art center. It might be some, you know, nice person that's just helping unpack. Give them as much information about your piece. And I will write down, this is a ceramic piece. It has a wire tail and mane. Please take the wrap off the tail and fluff it out a little bit. So, or something like that. Or if I send an aluminum piece, I'll say, please handle with clean hands, even though the piece is clear coated. I don't know if they just had French fries for lunch. I've even put cotton gloves in to handle my art. So sculpture is a whole different world. So I hope I didn't speak too fast. Uline, this catalog, which is huge, and they can actually make boxes for you. And there are companies like Craters and Freighters. If you want to spend the money, they will build a crate for you that you can buy and you can keep. And I do know people who do have crates built, but you're definitely upping your cost. Depends upon the piece. So, okay, I'll hand it over to Anda, and any questions we got.
All right, thank you, Mindy. And we use Craters and Freighters as well for some of our large colored pencil shows, who handle all of the 60 some pieces. So that seems to be a pretty good company, and nationwide as well. Yeah.
They're excellent. They turn me on to the pool noodles.
Thank you so much, Mindy, and this has really been great. There's a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Renee asks, should you insure for more than what you value the particular piece?
I
We
don't
can
know.
both answer that. I do a little bit. I might go up to $4.99, even though it's a $1,000 piece, because once you get over 500, they want to open the box and look at it.
Yeah, that's something else you have to consider. So, yeah.
You know, I haven't had one break. I did have one get lost in Denver once because it was delivered to the wrong place. They dropped it at a receptionist in a big building, and it didn't get to the right place or the show. So, but I insure a little bit, but I know people who've tried to collect insurance, and it's really a problem from what I've heard.
Okay. And Renee has another question. How do you feel about the UPS store? I use them and have not had any issues.
I've never had it.
I've used them too occasionally. I've had collectors who insisted on UPS. Okay, that's fine.
UPS or FedEx are pretty much the same. Just depends on what's near you, and both of them will allow you to have your own account as well.
Great.
Now, here's something strange that last time I shipped. The account's supposed to be, it was 15% discount on ground. And for some reason, it wasn't cheaper to use the discount. I don't know what was going on that day. So always ask, say, give me a regular price and give me the discounted price. I learned that lesson.
Right.
Good. Teresa Grimson says this is very helpful and interesting. Thank you, Teresa. And she also asks, why don't you use packing peanuts?
They're a mess.
The ship, when they open that box in their warehouse and they have hundreds of boxes that they're opening, and somebody has a box full of peanuts and they start flying everywhere, believe me, you are not their favorite person. Not only that, but then they have to collect, they don't even keep peanuts there. You know, when you go to a UPS store and they have this big bin and all the peanuts drop into a box, they don't have that at those big warehouses. So when they put your artwork back in a box, come back to you, they're just gonna put it in there with nothing. So no peanuts at all. It's just the shipping nightmare for people. And also if it goes directly to a venue, like Mindy says, if they're volunteers and they open that and peanuts start flying everywhere, again, you're not their favorite person. So yeah, no peanuts.
The only time I've used peanuts is somebody's bought a small horse, but I put it in a garbage bag, a plastic garbage bag, and I seal the bag and I shove that bag down in the bottom to give me some extra cush. And then I'll put something like this on top of that to fill, because one problem with sculptures is you got to fill that space. Even if you've got a little horse and another box, I've got to come up with stuff to fill that box, and it's expensive to buy bubble wraps, really crazy. So that's why I do a bunch of dumpster diving, and I'll make bags of peanuts to go to a collector, or I'll go looking for stuff like this.
Right, but as long as peanuts are confined in something, but
Right, I can find them in a bag and I seal the bag and I'll shove it down at the bottom to get, you know, they say 4 inches around, not for sculpture. You need more. If you're sending ceramic or glass or something fragile, you need more than 4 inches. So I would use the peanuts in a bag and shove it just for fill. And whoever's getting the box is just gonna throw the whole thing out anyway.
right, good
But
idea.
not to a show. I wouldn't do it to a show.
Okay. Heather asked, for shipping paintings, do you need corner reinforcements?
Yes, I would always suggest using corner reinforcements. If you buy one of the shipping boxes that have the foam around to snuggle that artwork down inside, still use the corners like Mindy is showing you right there. Make sure they're like Mindy said, everything that's in your box should have your name on it so that they know that it belongs to you. But I would definitely use corners. The other thing that, and I didn't mention this, but what I like to do is wrap the artwork in an brown paper envelope and just lightly tape it down with your name on that. What that says to the person opening your box is that you are professional and that they're going to treat your artwork like a professional piece of art. So I just take brown paper, wrap it nicely like a little Christmas present, lightly taped so that they don't have to tear it or anything. And I'm surprised sometimes it comes back in the same paper. So it just says I'm professional.
Now, another thing I've learned from my ceramic sculptures, I don't put bubble wrap right next to it.
Right.
I'll use a clear plastic bag, or I'll get those foam sheets, which aren't cheap, but I'll put those nice foam sheets around it. Then I'll put bubble wrap on it, because in Florida, if it gets hot and that bubble wrap is sitting next to a clear coated, and I usually use 3 clear coats on my ceramic, you can get a little pattern. So I never did that once and I never did it again. So I don't put bubble wrap right next to art.
Right. Kind of the same with putting that brown paper envelope around your artwork and then you're putting it down inside of foam. You know, it just gives it that little added protection. Another option too is Mindy and I live in Florida, so it's hot, but and as most of you do as well. I work with colored pencil, which is a wax-based material. So even though it's under a protective coating, I use the windshield for big trucks and make an envelope out of it. It's like a silver lined windshield protector to keep the sun off, and make an envelope out of that and put the artwork in that. And I think some of you are smiling, you've probably seen that happen, but it works out really well. It's also padded a little bit, so it gives you extra padding, but it also reduces the temperature fluctuation that may happen between a warehouse and a hot delivery truck. Yeah.
That's great. Let's see, Renee said, if you have a question, you don't want to put it in the chat, you can just raise your hand. I can see you guys. Renee said that UPS gives a discount on materials if you're a AAA member.
Oh,
So that's a good thing to remember.
That's true.
And Nancy said that bubble wrap on oil paintings can be deadly. You get the bubble dimples on the surface of the oil painting. That would really suck.
Yeah.
Heather said, I have seen a lot of artists wrap their frames in something like saran wrap. What is that and why do they do it?
I don't know why they do it because it's such a nemesis for people who have to rewrap your artwork. It's, you have like a tool, it's like a big dispenser and you can wrap it around your artwork. And when that arrives, they have to cut that away from your art, or else they have to take the people who are creating your work do not want to spend a lot of time unwrapping. They have to remember that. And they have to unwrap that slowly around and around and around. And then it's unusable to come back. So, it was something that was really popular for a while, but I would strongly recommend not using that around anything. So,
If you go to Uline online, you'll see that stretchy tape and a dispenser. You can see what it is. It's about that wide. And they pull it around and pull it around and pull it around. That's really good if you're just sending to a collector and it's going to get thrown away and that's the end of it.
right. So they're not going to rewrap that when they send it back to you. They're not going to use that. And if they have to use their own materials to send your artwork back to you to keep it from bouncing around in the box, they will charge you, and it can get very expensive. So they're not going to use discount prices.
Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, that was a great presentation. Think that lots of really valuable information. On behalf of the Florida Artist Group, thank you for joining the session. We hope that you've enjoyed the live presentation. A link to the videos, the video recording will be sent to you in the next few days, along with a short survey. So I hope you'll give us your input. Some of the programs in this program still have openings, so please review the roster of events and register by visiting the website floridaartistgroup.org. And thank you very much for joining us, y'all. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for coming.